I'm not going to walk home with any men tonight.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 times celebs mocked horrible interview questions.
You think I got canceled?
For this list, we'll be looking at the most awkward and cringy interviews where the celebrity couldn't ignore the ridiculousness of the questions being asked and responded perfectly. Have you ever met any of the celebrities in the video? Let us know in the comments.
Hey Mojoholics! For a chance to win cash prizes, play our live daily trivia challenges every day at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern only at watchmojo.com/play.
Number 20. Robert Downey Jr. It was meant to be a simple promo interview for Avengers Age of Ultron with Channel 4 News' Krishnan Gurumurthy in 2015. It should have contained fluff and cliché questions about the actor's motivation. Instead, the interviewer went off script and decided to try his hand at some detective work.
But we also would like to talk a little bit about you, and I don't know how comfortable you are, talking about yourself at the moment.
You have as much time as anyone else will.
It's well documented that Robert Downey Jr. had some past troubles, but he's been doing great for years. Gurumurthy felt this was an appropriate time to bring up his past. Rather than sit through it with gritted teeth, Downey challenged the purpose of this.
You think you're free of all of that? Or whether that's still something
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
After a stellar display of patience on Downey's part, his publicist finally intervened, and the actor removed himself from the situation.
You seem okay, it's just getting a little dinosaur in your...
No, look, I don't want to do that.
Downey later called the newscaster a, quote, bottom-feeding muckraker when chatting on Howard Stern's radio show. Number 19. Mila Kunis. It's always weird when a journalist uses a film's press tour to be combative with a celebrity. It's just uncomfortable viewing. In 2011, Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake were at a conference for Friends with Benefits. Kunis showcased that she was born and raised in Ukraine before moving to the US by speaking Russian to an aggressive reporter. The journalist started with a friendly-ish question before switching tones and asking Timberlake why he went from show business to movies. Kunis picked up on the rudeness of the inquiry right away and was having absolutely none of it. Timberlake, who was getting a delayed translation of the situation, didn't get to say much. Luckily, he didn't have to. Kunis defended his honor delightfully. Number 18. Taylor Swift. Ever since she reached the loft heights of superstardom, Taylor Swift's love life has been an obsession for the media. Who's she dating now seems to be the go-to thought for many reporters, which is pretty invasive. At the Grammy Awards in 2015, Swift was interviewed by Nancy O'Dell for Entertainment Tonight. It started off light, discussing the musician's dress.
You said it's Ellie top?
It's
beautiful.
Yeah, it is, and it's ombre. It's like ombre teal. It gets lighter to the bottom, and then I have purple shoes on, because why not?
Then O'Dell immediately segues to Swift's legs, claiming that after the ceremony, she'd be going home with lots of men. Yikes.
You're going to walk home with more
whatnot.
Since when did people start asking each other about in interviews about their underwear?
In 2012, when promoting The Avengers, Jeremy Renner and Johansson were interviewed by Extra, and it was a wreck. The reporter decided that asking Black Widow what she wore under the costume would be some good, hard journalism.
This is not a.
Is what I-
Is it inappropriate?
To ask somebody what kind of underpants they wear?
Johansson tore into the interviewer by saying it wasn't even a unique question, as she'd been asked that multiple times. The reporter tried to deflect by admitting he asked director Joss Whedon the same question, which did not yield better results.
What kind of interview is this?
Number 15, Samuel L. Jackson. Rule number 1 of interviewing someone: make sure you have their identity correct. Otherwise, you can appear incompetent at best and racist at worst. In 2014, Samuel L. Jackson was promoting the remake of RoboCop and was on the news channel KTLA. After doing well for a bit, Sam Rubin made a massive mistake when he asked Jackson about his Super Bowl commercial.
Did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
The silence was deafening. Rubin was seemingly confusing Samuel L. Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne. Jackson laid into him by saying,
We don't all look alike!
before mocking him by comparing Fishburne, himself, and Morgan Freeman. The razzing definitely went on for a while, which was very deserved, and Rubin's attempts to change the subject did not pan out well.
Let's talk about RoboCop.
Oh, hell no!
Number 14, Robert Pattinson. Entertainment reporters seem to think that if something happens to a celebrity that's usually private for us regular folks, then it's fair game to bring it up for them. Spoiler alert, it's not.
You can relax here for a second.
In 2009, Robert Pattinson was doing a press tour for the Twilight Saga New Moon. He, along with his team watching on the sidelines, did an interview with Ryan Seacrest. It started out normal, but then Seacrest attempted to grab some juicy gossip by asking the future Batman actor about the dating rumors between him and co-star Kristen Stewart.
What do you say to your fans who are desperate to know about you and your co-star Kristen? What can you tell them?
While Pattinson nervously laughed and focused his attention on a gift bag, a member of his team stepped in to end the interview.
The thing I can say to them is, watch New Moon, it's amazing.
Number 13, Ariana Grande. Instead of asking a female artist about her inspirations, her motivations, or the meaning behind some of her songs, some journalists prefer the uncomfortable sexist approach. In 2015, Ariana Grande was interviewed by radio hosts Justin Credible and Eric D. Lux for Power 106 in Los Angeles, California. She was asked what she would choose between her phone or makeup.
If you could use makeup or your phone one last time, which one would you pick?
Unsurprisingly, Grande was bewildered at the nonsense question.
Is this men assuming that that's what girls would have to choose between?
Even after having shot it down and mocked the two men, for some reason they continued to ask if she's able to go anywhere without her phone. Big yikes.
How long can you go without looking at Twitter?
Many hours.
Hours.
Many hours.
I don't believe it.
The hosts then spent the rest of the interview playing up to gender stereotypes that Grande smacked down every time. Number 12, Jane Fonda. Actor Jane Fonda has spoken about her cosmetic surgery publicly to promote her role in The Queen, the creepy interview was brought up, and Parkinson responded with some grand old misogyny.
Now, be fair to me, they were hanging out.
No, they weren't. Number 10, Jesse Eisenberg. The moment Eisenberg sits down for an interview with Romina Puga, things get awkward.
So Freeman plays a magic debunker.
Freeman? Who are you? Yeah. Freeman? Yeah. What, are you on a baseball team with him?
Yeah, he's a buddy of mine.
Okay.
The actor was promoting the film Now You See Me, leading Puga to go straight to magic tricks. Eisenberg is clearly unimpressed with Puga's interview skills and criticizes the writing on her hand, how she casually referred to Morgan Freeman as just Freeman, and even called her the carrot top of interviewers, a comparison that's very hard to find a compliment in.
Do you know the comedian Carrot Top?
Yes, horrible.
Well, you were like the carrot top of interviewers.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, and it's a good thing. It's
I'm
a good
gonna
thing.
go cry now.
No, don't cry now.
Eisenberg, or Jesse Eisenberg, did humor her with a card trick, but the atmosphere remained painfully awkward.
Your attention.
Number 9, Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino movies are famous for their violence, so it's safe to say that the director is not only an expert on the subject, he's also pretty sick of discussing it.
But why are you so sure that there's no link between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master.
Since the beginning of his career, it's been a lazy, within arm's reach recurring topic. But Krishnan Guru Murthy opted to go there anyway, asking if Tarantino thought that violence in his movies encouraged violent actions in real life. Tarantino not only refused to answer the question, he also refused to explain why he wouldn't answer the question. In an attempt to be highbrow, Guru Murthy continued to push the issue, making it more and more awkward, and Tarantino more and more angry.
I have explained this many times in the last 20 years. I just refuse to repeat myself over and over again because you want me to. For you and your show and your ratings.
Okay, well, no, it's not about our ratings.
Number 8, Anne Hathaway. When Anne Hathaway starred as Catwoman in Dark Knight Rises, she needed to get into comic book shape, and boy golly, didn't the interviewers love to ask her about it.
You are in phenomenal shape.
Thank you.
You're very
gracious.
You're always in great shape, but you had to make sure you were in perfect shape for this one, didn't you?
Extras Jerry Penacoli was especially interested, asking for details on her diet, her fitness routine, specific exercises, and the actual fit of the suit. It got to the point where Hathaway had to ask if he was planning on going on a diet to try and fit into a catsuit, because surely that's the only explanation of why he'd be so interested.
No.
No, seriously, we have to talk about this. What do you want? Are you trying to fit into a catsuit?
I might be.
You are? Oh, okay.
Lucky for Penacoli, Hathaway was able to find the humor in the situation and ride through it. Number 7, Mayim Bialik. We get it. When working the red carpet at any award show, you have to interview a lot of stars, and in-depth research becomes difficult, which is how we get moments like these.
How many people think that you can solve calculus at the drop of a hat?
I actually was trained in calculus for several years. Yeah, I'm a neuroscientist, so you may not have known that. Yeah,
I knew you were some kind of scientist.
At the SAG Awards, Mayim Bialik was asked if a lot of people assumed she could do calculus because she portrayed Amy, a neuroscientist on The Big Bang Theory.
We are using it to map brainwave patterns and then converting them into electrical impulses that can be used to control anything from wheelchairs to robots.
Based on that ring on your finger, I'd say you're pretty good at controlling robots.
Well, it turns out that yes, Mayim Bialik can do calculus, because she just so happens to be an actual neuroscientist in real life, a fact that she happily shared with the interviewers.
She is actually a neuroscientist.
I'm glad I asked.
She's been planning for this role her whole life.
exactly, yeah. Well, just for 12 years, but yeah.
Number 6, Cara Delevingne. Nothing puts a woman, or anyone for that matter, in a good mood like being told they seem exhausted and irritated.
I saw you in London talking a couple weeks ago on TV, and you seemed a lot more excited about it than you do right now. Are you just exhausted?
No. I mean, I'm still very excited.
In Cara Delevingne's case, these comments came at the end of an already awkward interview on Good Day.
Maybe I had a bit more energy. It's the morning.
Things started off with the host talking down to her and obviously not understanding Delevingne's sarcastic sense of humor. She tried to lighten the mood by explaining it was just early for her, but when the host told her to take a nap and drink a Red Bull, there was no saving the interview.
We'll let you go then. How about that? We'll let you go take a little nap, maybe get a Red Bull. How about that?
Cara Delevingne, thank you so much.
Number 5, Matt Damon. Oh boy. If you want an interview to go well, maybe don't insult someone's work ethic or their motivation, especially if that person's Matt Damon.
In acting, there isn't job security, right? There's an incentive to work hard and be a better actor because you want to have a job. So why isn't it like that for teachers?
When an ambushed journalist insinuated that the only reason the actor is such a hard worker is because his career doesn't have job security, Damon didn't appreciate the insinuation.
It's not an incentive, that's the thing. See, you take this MBA style thinking, right? It's the problem with ed policy right now. There's this intrinsically paternalistic view of problems that are much more complex than that.
Matt Damon is by all accounts an intelligent man, so his explanation on why her question is stupid is suitably eloquent, and gave her a few moments to reflect on her life choices. Given that he was attending a teacher's rally, he even managed to work her limp question into a succinct vessel of support for educators.
A teacher wants to teach. I mean, why else would you take a salary and really long hours and do that job unless you really love to do it?
Number 4, Jim Carrey. Apparently, what's up is a very loaded question for Jim Carrey. When interviewed at New York Fashion Week, Carrey explained he wanted to come to the most meaningless place he could think of.
I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am. I mean, you gotta admit it's completely meaningless.
Kat Sadler tried to defend the event, saying it promoted icons, but Carrey just went deeper, saying he didn't believe in icons or in anything really.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest.
He later contextualized the bizarre reaction, saying he was having a bit of an existential crisis, and at the moment, he didn't know who Jim Carrey was, which was hopefully enough to give Sadler something resembling closure.
If you go deep enough into those characters, you realize that your own character is pretty thin to begin with. You know? And then you suddenly have this separation and go, well, who's Jim Carrey? Oh, he doesn't exist, actually.
Number 3, Jerry Seinfeld. This interview went down as one of Larry King's worst interview moments in his epically long career, so you know it's going to be a doozy. While interviewing Jerry Seinfeld, King brought up his eponymous sitcom and made the mistake of clarifying that it hadn't been canceled.
Lasted how long?
9 years, 180 episodes.
You gave it up, right?
I did. So.
They didn't cancel you. You canceled them.
Jerry's reaction is one of pure outrage, accusing King of not knowing who he is and reminding viewers just how successful the show was.
You're not aware of this?
No, I'm asking you.
You think I got canceled? Are you under the impression that I got canceled?
Have I hurt you, Jerry?
I thought that was pretty well documented.
Let's get this straight. No one cancels Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld cancels them, just like Larry was trying to say.
Which one's supposed to be the funny guy?
Oh, he's the comedian.
I'm just a regular person.
No, he's just being modest.
Number 2, Tom Hardy. After playing a gay man in Legend, film media began to ask questions regarding Tom Hardy's own sexuality. At a Toronto Film Festival panel, he was asked by a journalist from the Daily Extra if he found it difficult to publicly discuss his sexuality, a question the actor found a tad offensive.
Do you find it hard for celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality?
What on earth are you on about?
After some back and forth as to why one would feel the need to ask such a thing, Hardy dismissed it with a simple thank you.
Are you asking me about my sexuality?
Sure.
Why?
Why?
Thank you.
Okay.
The outlet went on to defend the question, as they are a gay and lesbian news source, but Hardy has defended his stance as well, saying it was not an appropriate place to talk about such a personal issue.
I was wondering if you find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality.
I don't find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix famously loathes interviews, even the good ones. In his own words, he absolutely hates them. So if you have the chance to interview him, you better keep it interesting.
So what's going on?
Joaquin, directly in front of you, Chris with GMA Philippines. The movie obviously is about the Joker, but it goes beyond that. It's really about the mental state he was in. Can you tell me a little bit about what research or what kind of what you did to prepare for this? Because this was really an intense performance.
Following his outstanding performance in Joker, Phoenix faced renewed attention from the world's press, and clearly quickly became tired with the same set of questions, and he let everyone backstage at the Golden Globes know it.
Isn't this old news? Isn't this old news? I feel like I've talked about this for 6 months.
Asked a, by then, fairly routine question, Joaquin dismissed it initially as old news, before laying into it with sarcasm-fueled, ultra-thorough detail.
And thank you so much for asking that question. My publicist is telling me I need to go home.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.